Welcome to No Ideas Original featuring Shannon and the good brother Mr. Rob. We're joined today by Tiffany Davis, aka ATL Art Vibez. What's up, Tiff? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good to
Doing
see you,
well.
sis. Good to see you, baby.
How's the weather in ATL today?
Today it's like muggy. It's been thunderstorm. It's been a lot of weird weather here, as usual. Atlanta's crazy.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
I was down there last week, there was like 2 rainstorms. Trees were down and everything.
Yeah, it was like that yesterday. It's supposed to be like that all week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell us how long you've been an artist for and what led to you actually getting into art.
I would say I've been an artist my entire life. I just didn't realize until I got older. I started drawing when I was a kid. I would just doodle. There was a hobby. My parents didn't really allow me to do that. It was only allowed to be a hobby. So I never really started painting until about 4 years ago.
Wow.
I always thought painting was magical. It was something I wanted to do. And I wish I could have went to school for it, but also my parents were not having that. So I would sneak and just do that on the side. And I just taught myself. I decided to teach myself how to paint when I became an adult and moved away from them because I was like, hey, you can't stop me now. So as
Right.
soon as I moved out, that's when I started painting, and I just never stopped. I fell in love.
Nice.
That's good. And I noticed that you said you were self-taught, and that's a journey.
It
And
is.
I like a lot of your work, man. Your world appears to be your canvas in that respects. Who's your biggest inspiration? Is your dad an artist? Any of your family an artist? They know.
My dad is a big inspiration because as a kid, like I said, I didn't know. I really didn't even know that so much things count as art. My dad he's a carpenter and he does landscape. And
Okay.
even like, because we're Jamaican, we kill goats. This is normal for us.
That's
He
right.
would make
My wife
things.
killed goats too, son. My wife right in there. She probably killing a goat right now. Son.
Wow, I need to come get some curry goat then.
Come on through. Nell's
So
Kitchen.
like he would make stuff. He never threw things away. He would make things into art. Like he made
Right.
things out of the goat fur, like artwork.
Wow.
And as I got older, like he would draw in my birthday cards, and I was like, this man knows how to draw. So that intrigued me. Like I would see him build things, and I was just like, how did you know that you were gonna make that? So
Right.
I thought, I just followed him around all the time. Like he was everything to me. Like I still do it, and now it makes sense. And
Right.
he's one of my biggest fans now. So
Right. You got a lot of work.
Yeah, we had Demont Pinder for Pinder Story. I'm sure you're probably familiar with some of his work. We had
I
Demont.
just discovered him recently, so I thought, like, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah, he was on earlier in the week, and one of the things that I asked him is that if you're as an artist, and I think an artist encompasses people that's in music, acting, poetry. There's just so many different variations of art. But when you start thinking about music as a musician, there can be a mentor, somebody you're like, man, I really want my sound to sound like Prince, Michael Jackson, or whatever it is. As an actor, there could be somebody you could say, well, for years I've studied the classics, like I've Sidney Poitier, Eddie Murphy, whoever it is. But for an artist, who do artists look at? Artists that paint and draw, who are their mentors? Who are the people that they look at and say, you know what, I want to fashion my art after this person?
That's a good question. I don't think there's a specific person for me. It's a lot of things that inspire me, not just other art from artists. And I don't know. And I kind of feel like I struggle with my style too, because I don't really have a certain person that I like or a certain style of art. I'm just intrigued by all of it. So I feel like that's why I'm kind of like hands into everything. Like I do sculpting stuff.
Yeah,
like
you do a lot,
I can
man.
sew. Like I'm doing stuff with rocks outside. Like I'm just everywhere because like my brain is so open now because I finally have that freedom, and like my mom's not gonna slap me or ball up my paper because she's like, where's your where your homework? Put that away. So now I just feel like, oh my God, I gotta dip my hands into everything, and I appreciate every artist. Like I kind of don't know how to describe it. Like I don't know. I'm just all the way in.
I appreciate that piece. I appreciate that piece over your left shoulder with the gumball machine. I was like, oh, that's dope.
Do you know that this is not gumballs in here?
What is that?
These are all hearts. Let me show you.
Wow, son.
Their hearts, because I thought about this like in real life. You don't know when you're choosing a mate, you don't know who you're going to get, what their heart is like. Some of them have chains on it.
Wow.
Some of them have holes in it. Some of them are blue because they're cold.
That's right.
To me, like, it's just like taking a risk dating somebody.
Right.
We see the perfect heart. It's kind of like, you know, when you were a kid and you asked your mom for that quarter because you wanted that ring or something, and then you got the stupid crap out. So you see something, you want it, you expect to get that, but in reality, you're taking a chance and you don't know which one's going to come out. Maybe that person's not capable of love anymore.
Right.
Maybe that person has a wife that passed and you know, they have that hole in their heart. You just don't know. So a lot of my pieces aren't what they seem. It's a lot of thought behind it.
Right, they have a little story behind them.
Yeah. Because I'm not good at talking and explaining myself. So I found somewhere to do that.
And listen, art is the greatest expression because it gives you the freedom. Talk to me about your Becoming a Woman piece. I seen that piece. I like that piece, man. I'm a gardener, so I like that.
Back to my parents. Growing up, they had this idea of, okay, she's so smart that she should be a doctor. Like, so they pushed that on me. I have about 7 years of college. I just don't, I don't feel it. Right. So I just feel like when I decided that I didn't want to go to college anymore and being a doctor wasn't for me, I feel like everybody in my family kind of threw me away. Like, that was the golden child. That was going to be the first doctor of the family and blah, blah, blah.
She messed up her life.
She wants to paint. Like, you know, they kind of looked at me like, what are you doing? So I noticed that everyone kind of shifted away from me. Now nobody cared. Nobody wanted to speak to me like that. It felt different. So I felt like I was a seed being thrown away, but they didn't know I was going to come back out like this.
Wow. All right,
so
now that
like,
makes sense.
Okay, I don't have to be a doctor to be successful or whatever. Like I feel it in my spirit, and I'm gonna do what I was supposed to do.
In that piece, that was part 1. Is there a part 2? I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, there's a part 2. I have it over here. It's where she comes out and she's an actual flower now.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. I like that piece. I like that little collection you got.
What's your process for creating? I know there's some people that they like, you know what, I only can work at night. Some people like, I need to have music. I need to be in a certain mood. But for you, what's your process?
I don't need anything. I literally would paint all day, every day, if I could. Everything. I'm inspired so easily. Any song could come on right now. And I like to explain it to people like this that aren't really artists. Instead of having a thought in your head, I see a picture instead of a thought. So everything that comes through my mind is a picture, and I can paint it at any moment. Manifest
it. That's right. That's good stuff, man. That's like I like another thing I like. Part of your collection is the art going wild. Explain about what you did. Were you at a zoo? Were you sitting at a zoo?
Yeah, I was at the zoo for about a week.
That experience.
So that was the first time I ever did anything like that. I normally don't paint live. I'm pretty reserved. I'm kind of introverted, so I don't really go out. So that was me forcing myself to do something different, challenging myself, because I don't paint animals. And that was my first time painting animals. And I told myself, well, if it's hard and you do it, then that can open up doors to you creating other stuff. So I just forced myself to do that. We got to go one day, take photographs. It was about 30 other artists in Atlanta, and they have a paint out week. And every day for that week, you go to the zoo and you sit and you paint live. And they have an art show at the end of that week. And you sell your artwork, and half of it goes to the animal conservation. And I love animals. I'm a huge fan of animals. So everything it was a great experience. And I was looking forward to doing it again this summer, but you know, COVID-19.
Yeah. Knocking everything out the box.
Everything.
How long does it usually take you to complete, like if a person was to contact you and say they wanted a custom piece?
So it's some variables in that. It depends on how many orders I have, what number you fall on that list. If there were just the only thing that I had to paint, I could get it done in one day, depending on the size, maybe 2 days. I like to tell people 1 or 2 weeks.
Okay.
For the most part.
Okay.
That's a good turnaround, though. That's still a good turnaround.
Yeah, to do a piece of any project. Right.
I think I have a lot of pieces because my brain, like, I have to do them quickly. Because if I take a long time, like, I'll kind of lose that motivation. And I'm excited to get it done. So I just like to knock it out. Knock it out.
You do pillows. I seen a shower curtain.
Yeah.
Give her a clear canvas and you can create anything. And what another piece that I like a lot of your stuff, to be honest with you. The Aaliyah portrait with the glasses, the shades. I was like, damn, that's so crystal
That
clear,
was one of
man.
my favorite pictures of her
That
when I
is
was younger.
dope.
You couldn't tell me that I was not
dope.
Aaliyah when I was growing up. I had all the moves. I used to be in the mirror. That was me. And that was one of my favorite pictures of her. And I never thought that I would have that on my wall and that I was going to be the artist.
Right.
So that was one of my prized possessions.
That picture looked like an ad or something. I'm like, wow, man, this young lady got some talent, man. She needs to be recognized by somebody.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Do you have a gallery?
I don't have it. Well,
are you looking to have one?
My studio is my gallery.
Right.
I'm in the process of making a bigger one outside of my house so I can have more of a gallery feel to it because I have so many and they deserve a place on the wall.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. Like in this day and age, is it absolutely necessary to have a physical gallery or is it okay?
Right.
Everybody's on social media.
I agree. And me being an introvert, thank God for social media because I've made so much money and I don't know half of the people that are, supporting me. I've never met these people. It's people in London and that makes you feel like super good. Like your work can reach people on the other side of the world. Like,
sure.
And there's the people down the street that have no idea that I'm doing this. Like, so you just never know who's seeing it. So that it works for people like me.
Yeah. You know what the other thing that I've noticed with like a lot of artists, like it seems like artists figure out a way to kind of like not only step out of their comfort zone, but also do something that's non-traditional, right? So like in our interview with Damon Pinder, he does the clothing art. So I guess that's like his different thing from working on canvas. And I know you do a lot in terms of like body painting. Can you talk about how you, what led to you getting into body painting?
Well, I never thought I would ever do something like that. It never even crossed my mind. And I had a female reach out to me last June and she was asking me, hey, do you do body paint? And I was like, no, like, why would you even think that? Like, I don't have any of that on my page. But, it was an interesting conversation. So I'm just like, well, why did you ask? She was like, because I really need a body painter, but I would prefer it to be a woman. And I was like, that makes sense. Because, like, I used to model. And photographers, all that. A woman feels more comfortable with a woman. So I was like, I've never thought about that, but I will do it for you because I get it, being a woman. I'll try to do it. She was like, I think you could do it. I've seen your work. And I was like, well, if you trust me, let's go. So that same day, I had to go to her house and paint her. Right. And it was June 24th of last year. And I've been painting her like once a week ever since.
Nice. So what is she?
I love it though. It's fun.
Is it painting for like events or?
She does events. She's known for, well, her name is Boss Tech, and that particular client, she's known for being the body paint queen. Like she shows up in body paint. And then that kind of just opened up doors. So now people are seeing like, oh my God, she can body paint. So now other people have been contacting me and I've been painting, anybody. Right. Painting myself too. Like I practice on myself when I don't have somebody to work on.
Nice. Yeah. That's nice. I usually ask this question to all artists. I was an artist as a kid too. How important is imagination?
Very important.
Talk about it.
I think a lot of my imagination like sprung from me not watching TV as much as a kid, because I feel like that kind of kills your imagination too, because there's pictures already being put in front of you.
That's right.
For me, like my parents were strict. I didn't have a lot of toys. I wasn't allowed a lot of TV, so that caused me to have like so much creativity, because I had to invent things. I had to, I had to think outside the box. And that's super important because it led me to all these. That's why I have 1 million ideas in my head. I wish I had 8 hands. I would have so many paintings coming out of here because I have all this stuff stored from childhood that I've thought about. And that was very important for me because I see artists having like artist block, and I'm like, how?
Right. You have unlimited thoughts.
TV channel right now, and my whole painting just changed to something else, and I'm like, dang man, I need to paint the other one too. It's just too much. So that's why I said imagination is very important because everything that's being shown to you, maybe that's not how you're meant to perceive it. That's what I like to read versus watching something because I can create a picture.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's funny you say that because when we first started this podcast, there was no visual. There was no visual. There was no YouTube. It was only SoundCloud, Spotify, listening platforms. And creating it, I don't think I thought about the visual because I'm more so a person that I like to read and I like to listen.
Yeah.
When I listen and when I read, I create whatever I believe the story is to be. But then I got feedback from people like, well, the visual helps. And it's true that there are some people that are very much visual. That,
there are.
They like, it's good. It's okay to listen, but I'd much rather watch you while you do what you do. So I know you do murals also. When you're doing your murals, do you have to come up with the idea, or you freestyle it, or people come to you and tell you this is what I want?
I would probably love that more if I could just freestyle because it puts less pressure on you. And I feel like it gets done faster when I'm free to just create stuff. Because like I said, my picture is changing in my head all the time. Like I'm always ready. But most of the time the murals are something that are already given to me, like a picture that's already given to me. Well, the first mural I ever did, we had to create, and that was fun. And we only had 14 hours to do this giant mural, but because it was something that I could just freestyle, that made it easier. So
that mural you got in your parents' dining room is dope. Is there an ultimate mural that you would see yourself doing like this?
I feel like I'm working on the ultimate mural right now. Like, well, it's something in a client's house. I know Shannon is gonna love it. Because
Nice.
New York
is on there.
Yeah, it's 19 feet long and 19 feet high, one wall. Ooh. And it's like the whole New York, the Brooklyn Bridge and all the buildings. I didn't even think that I was going to be able to do something like that. Thank God for my brother. He's been a great help. And then they extended it, and now it's on another wall, like a whole nother mural on the opposite wall.
You got Bronx, you got Staten Island, you got Brooklyn, you got everybody now.
It's like, wow now. But, that's probably I think about the third time I've ever done a mural. So I'm just testing out different things to see, okay, do I like this? Am I any good at this? Now I'm going to practice on the side of my house once I'm done with this mural because I'm like, man, that's dope. I got to have that.
I got yeah, that's what's up, man.
You got to try new stuff. You never know what you can do.
you know my affinity for New York and the Bronx.
Yeah, it's really like I can't wait till you see it. I'm proud.
do you think that you've created your signature piece yet?
I do think I have one that's definitely a favorite. I would say it's the one with the net. This one.
Oh, yes.
Her. She's one of my prize. I don't think I'll ever really sell this one. But
for the right price, you might.
This one means a lot to me, and I think it says a lot.
How long ago did you do it?
This was last year.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty new.
What's it like for you to watch like just your evolution as an artist? You ever go back and look at your old work and be like, man, I could have did this so much better?
Yes. It's weird because I look at it and I'm like, man, when I made this, it was like, this was everything. Now I'm looking at it like, girl, this don't even look like Rihanna. Like, I'm just, it's weird now because as you grow as an artist, your perception changes. Like you see things that you didn't see before. Now I can look at the same picture and I'm seeing more details. Mm-hmm. So now it's like I can't even paint something as simple as I used to. It's weird. There's a saying that goes like, the better you know how to paint, the harder it becomes. Because you start stressing yourself out because it's like, that doesn't look good enough. I know you can do better. You put pressure on yourself.
The details, man.
Yeah.
Now you speak about weird, but you have a picture called something about weird or something, I believe. I like it though. It's like a chopped up face. You got the eye down here and the lip.
Oh no, that was me. I painted that on my own face. That was me.
That was you?
That was a body
That wasn't
paint.
a portrait?
It was a body paint.
Hold on, sir. That looked like a portrait.
No, I painted myself. I saw,
wow.
There's, her name is Dane.
I think it says, I'm a weirdo and I love it.
Yeah, that was a body paint. I saw this girl, there's an artist online. She body paints herself. And I was like, wow, that's cool. I wonder if I'll ever be able to paint that good. And something in my head was just like, just try it so we can see where we're at. So we can know how, how do I need to grow? And I shocked myself that day because I didn't expect it to come out like that. That was my third time painting myself. And I was just like, wow.
That's a great abstract, but very clear. Like, it's just the pieces of her trying to be put together.
Yeah, because I felt like in that moment I was finding myself too. Like I got my hand in body paint. I'm trying to do portraits. I'm trying to paint an animal. It's just a lot going on over here.
A lot going on. Yeah. So
I know living the experience, sometimes it's really difficult to actually see your own evolution and appreciate the process. But me knowing you now for some time and seeing from afar, seeing the evolution of your work and seeing, just the different things that you're doing, I'm like, wow, like Tiffany is taking her artistic ability to a whole nother level and then expanding and doing all these other things. And I know you also do paint and sips, right?
Yep.
What is it, sip and paints or paint and sips?
Sip and paint. I just call it a paint party because I teach kids too. And like, I don't even want to say sip. But paint parties, and I do private lessons as well.
Nice, yeah.
Sure.
So from the perspective of an artist, I'm just wondering, because like I'm not, as far as painting and stuff like that is concerned, I could paint my house, but I can't paint. But I'm just wondering, like, as an artist and you walking around, you giving instructions, you looking at other people's canvas, you ever say like, what the heck is this? Or what is this person got going on? What is this person?
Only if I'm like teaching something specific, like paint this line here, and they're not doing it. That's when I'm just like, were you paying attention? That's the only time. Otherwise, if we're just painting and they're free, I don't look at it like that because I feel like I could put an apple on the table and tell everybody to paint that and it'll all look different because we're all seeing something different.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So I don't judge like when it comes to art, and I people think I'm weird, but I honestly find beauty in everything. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's how it was created or why it was created is probably not the actual thing. Mm-hmm. Right. That's just me.
Yeah, imperfection is huge in art.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Some of my best paintings came from a mistake. A mistake that I made and changed the whole picture into something else. And I was like, I should have just thought about that from the beginning.
I see that CNN picture over your shoulder. You have any other social commentary material?
I have one that I'm working on now. This was the beginning of COVID, sprung this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's
me,
because I just feel like the earth is dealing with a lot right now, and just the people on it and the actual earth, and I just wish I could just hug it. That's where this piece came from, and I got my mask on because I'm hugging it and I'm not trying to get it.
You're not trying to get it. Staying protected.
Yeah, and then the CNN piece was from a protest, like when stuff really started going crazy in Atlanta. I found this is a very powerful piece. Like,
yes, it was.
All the names of some of the victims from police brutality, I wrote all the names in here. I just feel like this is a moment in time that needs to be documented, and as artists,
that's right.
That's what we're supposed to do.
That's
right.
And
I have one that I've started working on. I'll show you. I haven't shown anybody yet, but I'll give you a little
exclusive.
Exclusive. Let's go. Exclusive.
So I saw like this really powerful photo on the internet, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. There's this black woman standing in front of these guns, like she's on the front line. And I just found that very powerful because I go to a lot of these protests in Atlanta. It makes me feel something, like, and I come home and I work on these paintings, and it literally will take me less than a day to get one of these done because I'm in that moment and I feel it. And I like to put my feelings into my work. And when I saw that photo, I felt that because there's a lot of women in those protests and they're out here yelling because they got black husbands and black sons, and we make sure, like, you know, we're in the front.
That's right.
Holding it down.
So I felt that because I have a black son. So I'm going to be out there.
That's right. That's right. Women are very important in this time.
Yeah.
As support for black males, and men always need it. We always need to show it back, man. Family is important. So dope. That's real dope.
And I have a lot of things that I want to paint pertaining to this time. I'm just trying to get this mural out the way. I'm about to bust. Like, I just got to get this mural because I have all these feelings and stuff built up from going to these protests and seeing these things firsthand. I need to put all this in because this is going to be, I want to be able to look back at this 30 years from now and say, I was there. I took that picture. You know, I remember that moment. And I'm going to put all those feelings in those paintings. Yeah. And I'm not selling any of them.
With COVID, has there been any opportunities to do virtual paint parties?
I've done one. But I've just been so busy doing all this other stuff that I don't really have so much time for the paint parties as much as I used to, because they do require a lot of planning, like a lot. Okay. And with the whole mailing and stuff being delayed, like trying to send out paint kits, it's gonna just be too frustrating right now because people might not get their stuff in time.
Right. That's right. That's right.
So, if a person wanted to purchase one of your pieces, where would they go to purchase a piece?
On my website, atlartvibez.com. Vibes with a Z.
Nice.
And what's your social media again?
My social media is at ATL_art_VIBEZ.
Nice.
And my body paint page is art_after_dark.
Nice.
Sorry, Art Vibez After Dark with underscore. Sorry.
Yo, Shana, between her and Penda, my basement gonna look nice, brother. I want the Leah. I don't know. I might have to give you a price for that one, man. I need that one.
Well, I started painting her again a little bigger because I sold that original, the first one, and I recreated it a little bigger because I was like,
yeah, that's how I like it.
I like what's wrong with you?
I like it how it's big. It's just the face, the right there, the face right there with the glass.
So I made it bigger, and it looks exactly like the first one, but in my head now, it's like, it's not done because now that was 3 years ago. So I'm like, no, you got to do better. I need to see the lines on her finger. So that's why she's still sitting there because I'm like, no, you got to outdo the last one.
Yeah,
you got some
it's
great
the same picture.
So what's the ultimate goal?
Honestly, I would like to be more known, especially in Atlanta, because I feel like there's a lot of work I could be doing here, like locally, and people don't know who I am. They can't find me. So I just feel like a lot of people aren't seeing my work, and I just want to show people what I can do, because I find that encouraging. It makes me want to create when I feel like I have that, that audience. But right now I feel like the audience that I have is not really geared as much towards art. So like that, I need to try to make some changes.
So now we might have to do a virtual art gallery, get her and Penda right there and start showing pieces, man.
I'm down.
Let's do it, man.
I'm down. And I would love to go back to school to get like a degree in fine art, because I could see myself being a teacher. I would love that. So that's my long-term goal.
That's super dope. That's right.
You were on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta doing a mural also, right?
That mural, yep. That was the mural I was talking about. That one day to finish that 14-foot mural, but I did have help, thank God.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for agreeing to do this and joining us today. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
I'm probably going to be reaching out to you about the piece that's unfinished that you show, because it speaks to me. So you'll probably be getting a call from me for it.
Thank you, and I miss my paintings that you have. Those I show those to people because those are two of my prized possessions. I didn't know I had those kind of details in me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. I wish I had more photos.
Well, I could take photos for you.
I should have told you to bring them when you came.
My camera work is not that great, as evidenced by some of the pictures I took for the body painting when we was in what was it, DR?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The body painting in DR too. Like Tiffany, actually, we had a theme party. It was a Wakanda party.
That's on my page. I have that on my page.
Also. Oh.
See that?
That was a cool experience. I had fun doing that.
Yes.
Nice. That's what's
Thank
up.
you again. I appreciate it.
Tiff, it was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Stay in your imagination, sis. Don't leave, man.
I can't leave. I'm stuck.